Alrighty, so I have imported all of my RAWs into Lightroom. So the very first thing I'm going to do is cull my images. So I'm literally just going to tab through my photos, look for ones that seem exposed well, and I'm going to give them a star rating of like 3 through 5. So this is a pretty good pick. I'll give it a 4. 5's a reserve for just like super sharp, good exposure, that sort of thing. That's about a 4. That's about a 5, etc. Looks like I've got a Merlin here. Let's take a look. Hasn't finished. It's a little grainy. Can I get any better off him? Let's see. It's grainy, but it shows species identification, so we're going to give that a 3. Peep this one out. By the way, we'll be editing images from a Canon R5. Still grainy, but at least it's a verification photo. Got a northern flicker here. Flight, kind of looking the wrong way, don't want it. Sparrow, looks like he's hidden by branches, don't need any of those pics. That's kind of cute, little song sparrow. Not really a great photo, but I'll keep it, give it a 3. Also gets a 3, blurry. Oh, that's adorable. I'll give that one a 5. I like the way he's looking. Looking behind, and he's gone. Got a red-winged blackbird here. Kind of looking the wrong direction. That's not too bad. I'll give that 3. Also a 3. That's decent. Give that a 4. Looks like I missed focus. Yeah, a little blurry, so don't need to keep that. And all right, so now that I've got my photos rated, I'm going to go ahead and sort them by rating. And I'm just going to go ahead and delete any picture that didn't get rated. So now I'm left with our photos that I'm going to edit further. So we're going to pop over here into the Develop tab. And let's see. Oh, one more thing. Let me hit Library again. I'm going to rearrange them by capture time. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to be able to batch edit. So I'm going to select this photo through these, actually these two right here. And I'm just going to bring up the exposure. And these are raw images, by the way. A little noisy, but not bad. Just going to pop that, a little bit of that. Since most of the photos I take are for social media, particularly Instagram, I might as well go ahead and make these 1:1. And we'll go ahead and sync. Frame that up just a little better. He's got a messy beak. And we'll go ahead and sync that one too. That's a good photo. I like that. So with the R5, it's a 45 megapixel mirrorless camera, which means I can crop pretty tightly and still get a decently clean image. That's usable. And here are the Merlin photos. So I'm going to go ahead and select both and go ahead and crop them both. Temperature's a little cool, so I'm just going to warm it up just a tad. I'm going to bump the texture a little bit. Still noisy, not my greatest photos, but verification is what matters. And now we've got this little song sparrow. So here's a fun little trick. You can see that this photo is exposed a bit darker, but I think I like this better. So you can actually select a photo with the exposure you like, select all, then come all the way up here to, I believe it's Settings, and click Match Total Exposures. And that should have, did I mess it up already? I may have, let's see, Settings. Oh, I think actually they were already on the same exposure. It's just this one was in clouds. So we're just gonna bump that up. Sync that one to there. Alrighty, so now we've got two photos which are exposed a little lighter. Go ahead and crop 1:1. And again, I'm gonna hit the sync button over here. Usable, usable. And then back over here at this one, 1:1. And these images are actually looking kind of soft. I'm just focused on that. I will admit I have not shot on my R5 in a while. I usually shoot with a Canon 5D, which is a regular DSLR. So I'm still getting used to my mirrorless system again. No excuse, but it is what it is. So here we've got the red-winged blackbird. I'm going to go ahead and crop these. Just like that. Here's a fun little setting you can use. Mind you, these are all raw files. You can come up here to the mask menu, and if you hit select subject, Lightroom will automatically find, in theory, what it's supposed to focus on. It looks like it's just getting up here. It should have selected the whole bird, but it didn't, so we're actually gonna delete that one. All masks, and we're going to use the brush instead, I think. And let's reduce the size just a little. And I'm just going to brush the bird ever so slightly. I'm going to come over here, bump up the texture a bit, a little bit of sharpness. I'm also going to bring up the shadows just a touch, and maybe a little bit of highlights. And what's cool is I can actually sync that mask and cropping to all the pictures. Realign the crop on this one. Right there. Now when you go back into your mask, you might see that shifted. Just simply drag it down. And we'll do the same thing with this photo. Hello, there it goes. Just like that. Grab the mask. And of course, it's kind of out of the things. We're going to erase it just a little bit. Back to the brush. And I think I'm going to bump the exposure just a little bit more. And a tiny bit of texture, a little bit of shadows. Cool. So I've just edited 11 photos in about 8 minutes. That's kind of slow for me, but it is what it is. I'm just going to double check. I think I still want to brighten the exposure on these just a tad. And we'll do the, I'll show you again how the select edit masks works again. So select subject. In theory it should, there it goes. So now I can just apply changes like sharpening or texture just to that sparrow. And what's fun is that, so I've got some noise here in the photo. I can create another mask, select subject, but this time I'm going to invert it. So, hello, there it goes. And I'm actually going to bring the sharpness down and the noise up. And that should make the bird pop a little bit more. Yeah, that looks nice. And I'm going to sync that again, both masks. And that should be good. Let me double check. Looks good, looks good. Just need to fix the crop again. I think I actually can crop a little tighter. Alrighty, so now I'm basically done with these photos. I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, I guess I can export them. So I'm going to hit Edit, select all, File, Export. My folders are my JPEGs. And I always rename my photos. to whatever month it is and the date. So today is November 11th. And I'll also put the location, and that was at Cape Fear Shiners Park. And make sure my settings are right. Yep, and just gonna click export. So while this is doing its thing, I'm going to click on this photo, maybe not. There we go. So Adobe has camera profiles, which are found here in the right-hand corner. You have like Adobe Color, Adobe Landscape, Portrait, Standard, Vivid. I prefer the camera matching, and generally I keep it on standard. I usually set my white balance in camera just to avoid having to do extra work in post-processing, so I'm cool with this. This looks fairly accurate to what I saw. So, but you can play around with different profiles and you can get crazy artistic. It's not really my inclination when I take bird or wildlife photos. I sort of want them to look exactly like I saw it in the field. So in my mind, this is probably the best choice. Over here on the left, you have different presets. And you can also create your own. So let's say, and I did not select that. I just hit edit. There we go. Hello. There we go, camera thing. So let's say that I want to use this and apply to all my files in the future. I'll just bump the saturation. I'm going to go Tools. If I can remember correctly, it's been a while. Let's see. New preset under Develop. And I'll give it a name. We'll just call it Sparrow Fall, whatever. And so anything that's checked here in this box will get saved under a preset. And you hit Create. And then you can see right here, I can click blue, or I can just apply that. I'd say the nicest thing about Lightroom is that if you create your own presets, you can apply these on import and knock out 95% of your editing work afterwards in one click. And you can apply that to all of your photos. So whether it's a color profile or a camera profile over here on the right, or you can come up here to the left, you can apply these things on as soon as you're bringing your photos into the software, which saves you a shit ton of time. I don't know about you, but I really hate sitting at a desk editing photos or on like a laptop or something. It sucks. I want to be outside, so anything I can do to cut down on sitting here makes me happy. So now you see what I do. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.